Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Andrews, and I'm continuing the reels that I've been making about what I'm calling the war against nature, which is very real as far as I can see. And today I want to talk to you about a new threat to the environment, which is the building of data centers. And this is happening increasingly in many parts of the world, uh, driven by the AI boom, the artificial intelligence boom, which is being thrust upon us, really. That so many companies are using AI. It's almost like, well, if you don't want AI, it's there anyway. Um, but the data centers are using incredible amounts of electrical power. That's a problem in itself. But they are also using fantastic amounts of water for cooling purposes. And water is becoming an increasingly precious commodity. It's something that is needed. Whilst at the same time, it's crazy because many places are experiencing extreme flooding, so there's too much water. But in other parts, there's not enough. And rivers can run dry. Crops can die in farmland. Wildlife can die because it needs water, like we do. So anything which is taking water out of the environment is going to harm it. Data centers do this. But not only are they taking water, they're also destroying land. They're destroying wildlife habitat. And I've started calling what are called developers, housing developers that build new houses. I think of these people as destroyers because they do destroy wildlife habitat. They destroy greenbelt. They destroy forests. And that's been increasing. And I'm talking about the UK because I'm from the UK originally, so I keep up to date on what's happening over there. And there are more and more housing developments taking place in the UK. And there are more and more local groups of people saying, well, we don't want this housing development because it's destroying a local forest or it's building all over the fields. And it can't continue without devastating consequences upon populations of wildlife, upon biodiversity, which includes all forms of life. And I've been aware for a long time about how bad it is that there's all these housing developments taking place. I've been aware for a long time that biodiversity is just declining so rapidly. Many species are becoming extinct. Many species which were once common are now endangered. And apart from like threats to life, such as pesticides, which are terrible, there's also the complete destruction of habitat, homes, food sources. Like an animal, a bird, an insect. It cannot live if you destroy its home. If you say, well, it can go somewhere else, the somewhere else it can go, these places are becoming less and less and less. And populations of creatures, populations of plants are becoming divided. And it's a complete mess, and it is continuing. It is continuing. It's continuing at a rapid pace. And so I thought, well, yes, it's terrible about the amount of housing developments taking place, but now added to it, we have the AI boom causing data centers to be built. Oh, we need to build a data center near this town or the city. Data centers are what we need here, according to the people that build them. And it's very, very worrying. And as I say, they take water, they use electricity, large, fantastic quantities of electricity that they're using. And they are destroying what's left of countryside, what's left of greenbelt, what's left of wildlife habitats. Now, I keep hearing, and I've been hearing this for years, and I'm sure those of you who follow what's taking place in the environment, conservationists, are aware that, like many times, a housing development or a local council or some organization will say, well, look, we really do care about the environment. We do care about biodiversity. And we are taking steps to make good for any damage we've done here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be planting new young trees. We're going to see that we replace all the trees. But this doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because if you plant a young tree and you do not water it, we're back to water, then the young tree dies. This often happens. Young trees are planted and they die. But that's not the only thing. And this is really important. A young tree cannot make up for a mature tree, because the mature tree that has been there for a very long time, in that long time, a life, a whole system of life forms have come to depend upon it. A community of life, that's what I'm trying to say. A community of life has developed around a tree. You have likens and mosses that maybe grow on the trunk. You have insects that maybe feed on the leaves or bury themselves, or not bury, but rather like tunnel into the bark and hide in the bark. You have spiders which live in trees and which catch insects which live in trees. You have birds which feed on the insects and the spiders that live in the trees. You have all these different forms of life that the tree is supporting. It's taken a long time for that to happen. And if you cut that tree down and say, well, we're planting a sapling in its place, it just doesn't do the job at all, does it? Because all of the creatures that depended on the mature tree, they haven't got nowhere to live. They've got nowhere to feed. So it's destructive. And it's the same situation with the building of data centers, because if you build a data center and you destroy land, you destroy some trees, you destroy some farmland, you destroy some hedges, you destroy some green space that was there where creatures and plants lived, it's gone. The habitat is gone. And I think it is one of the main reasons why in the UK and elsewhere the biodiversity is going downhill at such a rapid rate, because the animals and plants have not got anywhere to live and grow. In the case of plants, the habitat is gone. And sometimes people say, well, they could go elsewhere. Birds, they can fly and find a new home somewhere. But the new homes are becoming increasingly scarce. They are not able to find them because they've gone, they've been destroyed by a housing development, or now the building of a data center. So what can be done? Well, it is happening in the same way that local people are protesting about the building of new homes somewhere. People are protesting about the building of data centers. So, I think that if you are in an area where a data center is being built and there is a local protest campaigning group, campaign that you can take part in, then that is something that can be done. That is a way of taking action. And I keep saying that the taking of action in any way that any of us can do about any of the problems which we are facing globally, because many of the problems are global. We have the same problems in different parts of the world. And I just say, well, do what you can. Take part in a local campaign. Support a local campaign. If there is a petition, sign the petition. If there is a local group that is doing something where you are, then go and join them, do something. And a word that I'm finding that I'm using increasingly is reduce and reduction, because I think this is the only way forward, that we need to reduce. We need to reduce our consumption. We need to reduce the building of housing developments and data centers. It's like I've been saying quite a lot. I've been saying, well, okay, plastic pollution. What can we do about that? Well, we can reduce the amount of plastic we're using. We can reduce the amount of plastic which is being manufactured to meet the demand for our consumption. We can reduce. And that is what I think we can do. We can reduce the number of data centers being built. And so, if you can do something to help reduce the building of data centers, then that's what I think is really worth doing, because the more data centers being built, the more wildlife habitat is being destroyed, the more species of life are threatened, endangered, and many of them are becoming extinct. That is real. So I'll leave it there. Data centers. Part of human progress and a new, very real threat to the environment and life on this planet. Thank you for watching. I'm Steve Andrews.